Yo, welcome back, guys, to Wolf Bitcoin, where we have another session of technical market analysis here, where we're going to look at Bitcoin. We're going to look at the crypto market, at least some of the majors, maybe take some chart requests. We can look at some altcoins. But yeah, we're back here again, guys. We do these every single day. Monday through Thursday. We're working on getting that Friday to be a little bit more consistent there, but pretty much every single day here on Wolf Bitcoin, we've got some type of content going on, some type of stream, some type of space. So there's always something happening here. Huge shout out to Public for sponsoring this show. You can check them out, public.com/wolf. If you are looking for a fresh spin on a TradFi brokerage, if you're looking for something that's maybe a little bit more in tune with the times, I guess you could say, compared to a lot of the old school brokerages that just don't have that much going on. They're not plugging into this AI revolution. They're not really keeping up with some of the strategies and the options that are available. You might want to go check out Public. Public is leaning heavily into some of these agentic solutions. You're able to set up some strategies here, some automated strategies with these AI agents that can make decisions for you based on your criteria. They can go out and execute some of your strategies while you are busy living your life, while you're out doing whatever you got to do. So go check them out, public.com/wolf. Plenty of things that you can look at there, whether you're a short-term, long-term trader, doesn't really matter. They're going to have something for you. So go give them a look. Go see what Public is all about. Wide range of asset classes, stocks, bonds, crypto options. You go check them out. You really owe it to yourself to go check them out. Public.com/wolf. Guys, let's jump into this show today. I see people coming in here. I see we've got some folks on YouTube. We got some folks on X. Guys, let me know how everything's looking. Drop a comment. Make sure as you're coming in, quick way to support this type of content, support these streams, is when you come in here, give the stream a like. If you're on YouTube, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subbed. If you're on X, make sure you're following Wolf Bitcoin. Give the stream itself, the post, a like. If you're feeling generous, maybe you give it a little repost. Maybe you share this out, send it to your favorite DM groups, and invite your friends that are into chart analysis and looking at these markets through this TA lens. But share this out, help spread the word. We're trying to do as much good as we can out here in the world, help as many people as we can through these types of means, right? Through free spaces, free streams, free content, sharing what we've learned, our past experiences, our current experiences, all of it. And with that, I mean, everything that we're going to share here is through an educational lens, guys. We're not making any kind of financial recommendations or giving any kind of financial advice. You need to go talk to someone who's licensed and is set up to do that for you. But that's not what we're doing here today. Everything we're doing here is just sharing our own unique view of the markets, sharing our take, our perspective, the things that we've learned, things that we've lived, and then just hoping that maybe it can be something that you can take back with you as you're doing your own due diligence, doing your own analysis, learning about these markets. Maybe it saves you a little bit of time. Maybe it gives you a little bit of an edge. But as always, go consult with someone before making any kind of decisions. Someone that is able to give you some financial advice or advise you in these things in some way. Drinking a little bit of afternoon coffee here. It's basically it's just old coffee from the morning that's left over, and but it's all right. It's all right. It works. It gets the job done. It does what it needs to do here. So, guys, let's jump into these markets. Let me pull up this Bitcoin chart here. Let's see here. Do we want this one? Yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. That'll be just fine. So we're looking at Bitcoin here on a 1 hour chart. And today we have done something that we need to talk about, which is we ran the low of last week. So previous week low has now been swept here by today's price action. So we did see a move below that. We are back above the low of last week. So you could say that this is a form of a range deviation. This is your weekly range. This is the high of last week. This is the low of last week. We've had a bit of a deviation below the low of last week. Doesn't mean it's over. This could still have another final sweep here. You know, it can come a little bit lower. But what we're looking for here is, if this is to remain bullish, we do want to see this overall level here, this zone. We want to see it defended, right? There's always a chance that this breaks down and just goes lower. That chance always exists, just like the chance that price can go higher at the top of a range, right? For whatever reason, it can just continue going higher. Bottom of a range, it can continue going lower. But a lot of times, I'd say those are the outliers, right? Most of the time, what you see is you see these ranges protected, defended, preserved, right? You see that normally when you come down to a previous support or to the bottom of an existing range, a lot of times that just sends you back either to the middle of the range or all the way across. More often than not, that's the outcome that you get. So I think that that's the one we have to lean into. We're looking for, at the bottom of a range, we're looking for opportunities to get long on this chart. And at the top of the range, we're looking for opportunities to get short, right? Because we're simply saying we want to long support, right? We want to buy low and we want to short resistance. We want to sell high. Very simple, very basic. It doesn't hit 100% of the time, but it gives you a framework at least. It gives you a framework to at least understand, okay, I've got a range low. I need to be maybe a little bit more aggressive here versus over here. I need to be a little more defensive at the top, right? So just a slight difference there, just a little bit of perspective. So now that we have this sweep here, again, doesn't mean it's done. We are going into the end of the US session. We're going to go into the gap before Asia wakes up. A lot of things can happen during that period. And the truth is, Asia could still put another leg down that sends this sweep lower still, and then we'll see if we can reclaim this level and head higher. Ultimately, though, I am maintaining a bullish and opportunistic bias, I guess you could say, here. And the lens that I'm choosing to look at this through is quite simply this lens here. It's the one I've been talking about on streams over the last week, probably a week and a half, which is that I think there's a potential for a bounce here. I think there's a potential for a bounce here. On the higher time frames, you've got a very large W that is setting up here. And then even on the lower time frames, like on the 4-hour, we kind of had the same thing that was playing out there as well, where we had a smaller W, had a move away from that, and then we're now experiencing the pullback. Look, it didn't play out exactly the way we were forecasting. It rarely does. It rarely does. But what it did is it gave us a framework, right? So it's not that far off. The pullback didn't go quite as high. It only went here. The pullback here on this move after the break higher, this retracement here went a little deeper, right? It didn't just go here to like 74. It went down to 64, sorry. It went down to 62. So it went a little deeper, but overall, this is still in play. And in my opinion, if we can get a bounce down here, then that larger W, this idea is still in play as well. So really, this is only at risk if we start taking out some of these lows over here. As long as this is protected, as long as we're not going below this structure here, this still sets us up for higher lows. Higher lows, then we're looking for higher highs over to the right. So look, I think we just have to keep that perspective there. We just went through about almost a 30% drop from 83K down to 59K. I don't think it makes sense after a move like this to now be looking for shorts down here. The time to look for short positioning is, in my opinion, already behind us. The only other way that you would look for shorts is if you actually had a break below this level again. I've repeated this multiple times, but we really didn't have any kind of acceptance on this move below 60K. Even though we did move below that February low, you have to go down to a 1-hour time frame or lower to see any kind of closes below. So on the higher time frames, there's just no acceptance. There's nothing but a wick below there. No bodies have closed below here, no candle bodies. So in my opinion, this level is still valid. Anything above 60K, to me, it keeps me looking higher for now. And below that, then definitely we're going to look for continuation to the downside. But right here, this doesn't look bad to me. You could probably also on this daily trend here, you could probably also be looking for a channel like this of sorts on BTC. Definitely have some structure here that looks like that. And if this is the case, I'm looking for a bounce somewhere down here near the bottom of the channel, and I'm looking for a move to the top of the channel, right? At least the midpoint, but very, very possibly that we see a move up here to the top of the channel. So if we get a bounce here sometime this week off of these fib levels here, if we're able to make a push higher, first level to look for is we want to see a sweep of 67K. That was that high of last week. And look, if it has to battle it out there for a little bit, it has to come back down, sure. But ultimately, I think we need to be looking for a move that comes back up here into the 70s, like 72 to 74, somewhere up there. That is the low of last month, and it's also the low of last year, which we did move above on this move up here to 83. We did move above the low of last year. It came back down. Maybe we go back up there one more time for another rejection. So I think this is still the primary the primary setup that I'm looking for here. If we start to come back down here and take out these levels, then okay, something else has changed, and maybe this is no longer in the cards. But currently, I'm not ruling this out. I think there's still potential that this move plays out, especially coming up here to the close of the month. If we go look at the monthly time frame, we do have 7 days and 4 hours remaining. Yes, this isn't a great look on a monthly. This is not a great look. But if we were able to just get above 67K here on this monthly time frame, the chart would be interesting. I'd start considering the possibility of us at least coming up to sweep the highs before rolling back over, because we'd be forming some kind of range down here in the, I'd say what is like the 60K to 80K area here. So pretty interesting. We'll see if we get it. If this melts going into the end of the month and then we close significantly, we close below 60K, then yeah, okay. Like even if you get a bounce, you're likely to just continue lower at that point into the new month. So it's going to be a big close. It's not just the monthly close. It's the quarterly close. It's the first half of the year close. It's a big one. It's a big one, guys. How are we doing though, guys? Let me know if you're hanging out with me. The chat is absolutely dead right now. You guys are you must be listening and doing something else, or there's just not been anything to say, I guess. Oh, this coffee's awful, by the way. Absolutely awful. I think it's like a French roast or something. I do not like the dark coffee, but that's all I had today. So we're drinking some ashy dark roast stuff that's just not my preference. I'm a medium roast kind of guy, or a light roast. I like that light roast. Let me check the DMs, make sure we're good. Yep. We are looking good. All right, let's do this. Let's do this because send via chat. Boom. There we go. Let's get some more eyeballs on this stream here. Everyone checks out, man. When price isn't good, like on a big drop like this, people check out. This is where the opportunity is, guys. You're checking out on this is like checking out on Black Friday, checking out on Memorial Day sale. What are you doing? What are you doing? What do you mean you're checking out because the price is down? That's when you need to be paying attention, man. People are doing the opposite here. We're getting some sales, we're getting some fire sale, and people are taking a break, taking a vacation, man. You should be taking a vacation when the stuff's trending up and you're just sitting in your positions, sitting comfy. But people are something else. People are something else. Let's see here. What are all these notifications? No, we're good. Nothing here. That's urgent. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's look at Bitcoin dominance, because we were talking about this on the space this morning. Shout out to Popeye, Sailorman Crypto, for bringing up some questions about this chart here. Let's zoom out a little bit. So this is Bitcoin dominance subtracting stablecoin dominance from the equation. If here and just to really highlight the differences, let me get rid of this. Okay, so this is what that chart looks like. Just to highlight the differences here, let me show you what standard BTC.D looks like. Very different charts, right? Very different charts. A lot more history just on the standard Bitcoin chart, but structure is definitely a little different, right? It's a little different here. And then what you'll find is, like, in as we zoom in the lower time frames, standard Bitcoin dominance has just been absolutely flat, while the Bitcoin minus stables has actually been trending. There's a little bit more going on here. So let's go look at it through like a weekly lens, for example. So this right here, pay attention to this nice clear uptrend. Now Bitcoin dominance here minus stables has been trending down. If you look at just BTC.D alone, look how flat this has been, right? This kind of paints the picture that Bitcoin dominance has just been absolutely flat, doing nothing. But when you look at it minus the stables, it's not the case. It's actually been moving. It's been moving. Like, it's been going through periods where dominance is increasing and then dominance is dropping. And the reason I wanted to show this is because we've talked on this stream about others, right? We've talked about the others chart, which, if you go look at others dominance on a 6-month time frame, there's been a clear period of outperformance against BTC. This is others BTC. So others BTC, according, based on how I'm reading this chart, had a reversal period here, or the previous 6 months, end of last year, and has now been slowly creeping up. So this first half of this year, the others, which is your cryptos minus your top 10. So these are the cryptos that don't include Bitcoin, Ethereum, doesn't include XRP, BNB, doesn't include Hyperliquid, does not include Tether, USDC, the big ones, the top 10, right? Those are not included in this list. Those coins have actually been, as a basket, have been going up in market cap against Bitcoin. So there's been some money that's been flowing into these. And when you look at Bitcoin dominance, this is actually where you can kind of see some of that. When Bitcoin dominance is falling like this, you're just seeing that others chart get a massive pump. Others chart just gets a massive pump during that period. That was this right here, right? Bitcoin dominance was falling. Others was just pumping. You were seeing a bunch of the shit coins is basically what it is. It's like a bunch of alts, random alts that were pumping 50%, 100%, 200%. That was happening here while Bitcoin dominance was just falling. It was just absolutely in free fall. And so I'm watching this because I think it signals a little bit of that. It signals if this starts coming up, then Bitcoin's going to outperform everything else, and you want to just really be looking for Bitcoin to continue pushing. But if this starts rolling over and going lower, then I want to be paying attention to this others chart to see if there's more liquidity flowing into alts like WorldCoin. This was one that we talked about, like Aster, like Ondo, like a bunch of other coins that we've been looking at and trading. So I would say, I would encourage you guys, like, if you don't look at BTCD minus the stables, and I do think you should combine them. I think you should combine USDT and USDC in that equation. Don't just do Tether. But go try that out. See if there's anything there that's of value to you. Stablecoin dominance as well. I talk about this a lot. And you guys know I already do the combo chart where I've got Tether plus USDC. Same comments we made about BTC, right? Like even though you took that high on this chart, that February high, haven't had a close above that. Still no real reason to be concerning ourselves with how much higher is this going until we prove that out, until we get a nice weekly close above there. You did have a daily close initially, but it came back down, and then since then it's kind of rejected from that. And then here we did see a rejection here. I know I had a fib channel on this. There we go. And I want to say I had this one right here. Boom. Okay. So this is kind of what we were talking about. We were talking about the possibility that up here near these fib lines here on this channel, that we may be getting a rejection. And if that is to happen from this area up here, from this general area right here around this like 12.5% on the combination chart, if we were to get a rejection from that, the move that should be coming from this is that it should be coming to take these lows. It should be taking, you're sweeping last week's high. We should be heading towards last week low. So if we see this manifest here on stablecoin dominance, I'm of the opinion that would mean that it's manifesting here on Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin should be done sweeping this and should start heading higher if we see stablecoin dominance reject here and start heading lower, because these are just mirrored. Most of the time they're kind of just mirrored. Stablecoin has its own structure, but for the most part they are mirror images of each other. You flip that over and you're basically looking at Bitcoin through a slightly different lens. What's up? We got Ash, we got Daryl. What's up? Top of the morning. You guys have not experienced decent coffee in your country. It's disgusting. Oh my God. I mean, I think I know what good coffee tastes like. I know what crap coffee tastes like as well. But I think I know what good coffee tastes like. A lot of the stuff that I do drink, it is imported. It is imported. So Central American imported from good crops, single, what do they call it? Like single origin, where it's just it's not mixed. So yeah, you gotta get the good stuff though. I will say most American coffee, if you're just thinking of drive through or gas station coffee, it's pretty crap. It's pretty crap. It really is. But if you're willing to sit there, grind your own beans, either do a French press or some kind of drip, you can get some pretty good coffee. You can get some pretty good coffee. This stuff I'm drinking right now is not fantastic though. It's like, it's a get me by coffee. It's get me by. And I don't know about you, Daryl, but I can enjoy the coffee black. I can enjoy it with a little bit of milk or cream. It doesn't have to be sweetened. As a matter of fact, I prefer it's not. But I can drink it sweetened as well. It tastes like dessert at that point. But I like me a good coffee. I like me a good coffee. I just don't like it dark. I don't like the dark, ashy, dark roast. It's just not my. I'd rather have a medium roast that has, some kind of like maybe tropical or fruity type of notes in it. A little like brighter notes. The light stuff is pretty good too, but the dark, I just cannot do it. That dark is terrible. Dark roast is absolute. I don't care if it tastes like chocolate or whatever you think it tastes. I just can't do it. I cannot do the dark. I will drink it, but I don't like it. I don't like it. Look, we talked about Ethereum over the last couple weeks as well. ETH is having a hard time getting above that last quarter low. So until I see that change, nothing really there. XRP is trying to defend that previous quarter low, but it is struggling a little bit. What is good with a lot of these charts, though, is that they are giving us market structure, right? They're giving us market structure so then whenever we do get a move higher, we know what level needs to break to confirm that this is going higher. Even Solana right now, like this is pretty clean here, right? You had a nice little W, impulsive move up, retest of that neckline. And so this is looking pretty clean here in terms of like horizontal structure. What's likely to happen here is this is probably going to range here for a little bit, and there'll probably be a break, like a quick deviation back below this neckline. I will be looking to play Solana. I think Solana probably has a trade that looks something like this, that we can take at least to here, probably to there, right? So I think there is something there for Solana. I think it's still in the process of being ready, right? It's still marinating. It's still cooking. It's still whatever term you want to use, whatever term you want to use there. Yeah, no sugar says. Yeah, dude. Don't forget, man. I'm Latino. I'm Latino, so I know what like good organic stuff that's straight from the ground tastes like, man. My on my dad's side of the family down further south in Mexico, near the coast, near the western coast. Um, they I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, yeah, like dude, when we go visit, man, it's like your fresh mangoes off of the tree, fresh coconut, oranges, lime, all kinds of stuff, man. You want meat, you go harvest the animal yourself. Go get the animal, get the job done, do the work, prep the meat, cook it. Um, yeah, um, fresh fish, dude. I've been out into the ocean fishing fresh fish straight from the ocean. Take it back to shore, um, cook it up, eat it right then and there. Good stuff. Might be in America, man, but I definitely know that other lifestyle for sure. Mm, 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 mm. What else are we looking at here? BNB's been an interesting one. I covered this with, where did I cover this? Was this on a space? I know we've looked at it on some of the Wolf spaces. No, no, no. This one I was talking to one of the groups is what we were looking at this inside one of the groups. But same thing. BNB is kind of going sideways here. Probably a deviation coming at some point, another leg lower, and then I think there may be an opportunity to take a trade, maybe across the range here for BNB. Just gotta wait. I'm not seeing anything yet that's screaming that this thing is ready to rock and roll just yet. But I think it's in the process of setting up here. I think it will be at some point. It will be ready. At based, which one is based? What's the ticker, Ryan? What's the ticker for based? Is it a TradFi thing or is it a crypto? What's based? This based USDT? This thing? I don't know if that's the one. Is this it here? Currently at just shy of 0.1, 0.1. Tickers are literally based. Okay. I mean, that's the first thing that jumps out at me. Nice sweep of previous month low. Heading up towards previous month high. We'll use Gentleman Suite to give us the weekly levels. I know I could do the monthly as well, but we'll go slow here. Nice little sweep here of this range. Yeah, this looks like it's coming up here. Nice little unclaimed zone here. I wonder if it'll dip down in here at some point in the future. This 3-day range is interesting. That 3-day candle is interesting. That 5-day candle is pretty interesting as well. This blue one. Let's see what happens on this 3-day. So I'd say currently we're looking for this thing to breach the high up here, and we want to see what kind of reaction it gets up here first. I think there is the potential that this corrects and comes back down here. Doesn't have to, but I think there's a potential, and it would probably happen after a move up here, and then it would want to come back down. Yeah, it's look at the volume on these hits to the upside. Big volume here. It does another one. Big volume here. Now this one here, it also has good volume, but now you've got decreasing volume, significantly less. You're at about, maybe 50% of that previous candle here. So you're definitely losing a little bit of momentum. Even if this pushes up, again, if this pushes up and it gives one more kick to the upside, I think there's a decent chance. Like if if you're thinking of this as like, this is a range up here, I think there's a decent chance that this thing is wanting to maybe go up here and either take that previous month high or stop just shy of it and then come back down maybe a little bit. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything here. Yeah, if I was looking for this thing to bottom, I think I definitely want one more hit down, and then I'd want it to head the other way. 5 days left. Yeah, this weekly range here could also be one to watch, depending on if this week closes inside of last week without making a move above last week's high. So if it's an inside bar, then I think it's probably just forming a range here, like a bit of a compression. And until I see a move outside of that weekly range, either through a trap to the upside or a trap to the downside, I'm probably just assuming that this thing just continues ranging, and at some point you get that deviation in either direction here. So this could still be in a bigger compression. It's likely to still be in some kind of compression here. Again, it just depends. If this thing goes higher, then you're still in an uptrend. You're still trending up, right? You're in a trending directional move. If this thing just starts, printing inside bars inside of here, then you're just going to be in a compression for a little bit. You'll be compressing until something gives you a deviation either way, and then you'll see the move. So like if you're doing this, you're kind of doing that, and you see a sudden break higher, then you're probably going to do something like that versus the opposite, right? If you're doing that same song and dance here like that, but you break down, then you're probably getting ready to do that. Right. Nice rounded structure though. Nice rounded structure. Maybe what it's actually doing is that maybe it comes up and then it gives you the handle. right? And then that's what dips it down here into this unclaimed part of this vector here. Something like that. Um, you're in at 0.06 TP1 at 0.10 today. Look at you. In at 0.06. 0.06. Okay. Golly, man. I want to know what I'll have to talk to you offline about this, I guess, or on a space. But like, I would want to know, number one, how are you finding these, right? Like, is someone feeding these to you, or do you have a system for how you're kind of scrolling through tickers and deciding what to look at? And then what was your criteria for entering at 0.06? Like, what did you see that made you think, let me take a position? Because it ended up being a good entry. I'm just curious, like, what you saw. Was it after this big move here? Was it after this sweep of that low and then a move higher? Like, what was it that led you to take that position? Just I'm curious to just kind of understand what that thought process looks like for you. But who's this? One says, can you go over how you incorporate coin glass into your trades? Just a quick lesson. Yeah, I don't do a lot of coin glassing. If I'm being honest, I really don't. What I usually will do though is if I know that there's liquidity building on like both sides of a trade or something, I will go in and I'll reference coin glass really quickly just to see where that liquidity is building up. But I can't really say that I'm like a regular user of it. Um, let me see. Oh, it logged me out. Hold on here. Let me try and log back into CoinGlass. But let me see. Hold on here 1 second. Because if it can let me in, I can't even remember what account I used for CoinGlass. This up. Hey, there we go. Okay, I am on. All right, let me try and switch this screen over so you guys can check it out. There we go. You guys should be able to see that now. So mainly what I like to do is I like to bring this out to like the 6 month, and then I work it backwards. So I go out to the big time frame, and I like to say, okay, where are the big levels? So there's definitely some, there's a little bit building below, but I'm looking for like the big ones, right? So I'm saying, okay, there's some liquidity building here at about 67. Makes sense. That's right above that last high. And we know that this is how it works. Like, you can tell where this liquidity should be just based on the price chart. You really can. Why? Because it's above swing highs and it's below swing lows. It's where people are putting stop losses. And so if you understand how to enter a trade and where you should be, how you should be looking at market structure to place your stops, then you know where that liquidity is. But you can come on here and you can see how much there is. It's like, okay, you've got a nice little chunk here, a few hundred mil or whatever of liquidity here. You've got another one up here at about 74 and a half. You've got some in between here, but then the next one's really up here at that 83. So it's like, all right, let's go to the 3 month, right? And then I just kind of zoom in again. And look, there's a lot. There's a lot above this 67. You're just building a lot right here. 67, 68, 69, which we know it's up there, right? We know it's up there. Is there some below? Of course, there's always both ways. There's always some both ways, but there's more significant one above at this point here. And then there's a huge hot spot we know above that last swing high. So I just kind of do the trickle down. I just keep going, keep going, keep going. I mean, that's a lot right there. That is a whole lot right here. That's a very, very hot spot here, right above that last move to 67. There is some building here at about 60.3. So 60,000 right below, not last week, but the week before. I think this was like Tuesday, Wednesday of the week before last week. So yeah, June 9th, June 9th, June 10th. There's some down there. Why? Because a lot of people took long positions here or even here. And where's their stop loss? It's right here. So if it is going down, that's going to be another area to go down to, is going to be here at about 60,300 or so. But there's a lot more above. There's significantly more above. Let's go to the 1 week. We can see this move down to 62, took out a good hot spot here at 62. There was quite a bit here that had been built up. That is now gone. We do have some not much further down. I wonder if it takes this tonight. So 61.5. 61.5, that'll be a level that we can go in the chart and we can mark that up. 61.5, there's about 50 mil right there at 61.5. It may be that we still have a leg down that clears that, and then we head higher after that. Let's look at the 3-day. Yeah, even here, right? Even here at 62. So 61.5 and 62, essentially right below where price is currently consolidating. There's going to be some liquidity there for the taking. And then once you start getting too low in the time frame, it's just a mess. Like, it just shows that there's liquidity everywhere. So look, let's do this then. Let's go back to our chart. Where's my BTC chart? Here it is, based. Is this it? Okay. So then, just by looking at this makes sense, right? Like right below here, 61.5 to 62, right? All of this, there's going to be some liquidity here, right in here. Okay. So there could still be that tonight you see a move like this, takes that liquidity. If there's enough buy pressure that steps in there, then that's what initiates the move higher from here. That is the final sweep. If we don't get a bounce, that could lead us to cascade down, and then at that point we're basically coming back down to these lows from the 9th and the 10th. And we know there's liquidity right below that as well. So I think if we don't catch a bounce here at about 61.5, to 62 on another sweep down, I think the chance increases that we're, quite a bit, that we're heading back down to 60K. Could still come down, sweep 60K, and then catch that bounce. Absolutely is possible. Could absolutely do that. Let's do something really quick as well, because there's already a channel here at play. Look at that. Actually, no, I don't want to draw it that way. I actually think a better way to draw this channel. Let me see here. Yeah, we'll stick to the 1 hour time frame. But I don't want to grab these highs. I want to grab this last one. This last one right before price had this big move down. So let's do it this way. Let's do this to here. And then we'll anchor down here, not in the initial drop, but on the retest. The retest confirmed that there's interest here. And what do you know? What do you know? Hide that. So what do you know? We're right near the bottom of this volatility range here, using the last high and then the one right before that, and then anchoring to the swing low that's between those 2 points. Boom, and then projecting it forward. Perfect touch down here. Look at that. Perfect touch at the bottom of that channel. Perfect touch. Very, very clean, right? We didn't even use this point to anchor anything. We grabbed this to that, and then we anchored it to here. Beautiful, perfect touch. It's kind of hanging out here near the bottom of the channel. Again, if from here it's got one more sweep down, no big deal. It can come, take this liquidity, work its way back into the channel. As long as it does that, then I'm looking for a move up here to the midpoint, which is about 63.5. And even if it chops here a little bit, right? We said it could chop here. It could have a pullback from here. Ultimately, I do think it makes sense that it heads here towards the top of the channel. And then what's also likely happening here is that, at this point, you're at the 50% of that last week range. You cool off here a little bit, and then you see if you've got that move to continue higher. So I think this opportunity would be for buying. I don't think it makes sense to short here or into a move lower. To me, that doesn't make any sense, but after the sweep and next move was higher. I gotcha. GRT, algo, wormhole, all doing the same thing. Gotcha. Cool, man. Yeah, what I enjoy, Ryan, about watching you pick these out is that you still have really fresh eyes, I guess is a way to put it. Because although you've been in the business world for forever, you're as old as a dinosaur, and you've been around investments, you understand all of that. From a TA perspective, I think you still have pretty fresh eyes. And so maybe you just don't overcomplicate a lot of stuff. You don't overthink stuff probably as much. And your eyes also have not, you don't have the battle scars and all of the things that get in the way of being able to just look at something. And that's the reason why I invert charts, is to try and counteract a lot of that stuff, those defense mechanisms that your brain has to try and protect you. So I'll do the chart inversions, I'll do volume based candles, I do all these things to try and highlight and make sure that my eyes don't miss something that's right in front of me. And I think your eyes are just still picking that stuff up organically right now. Hey, no worries. Yeah, I appreciate you coming on and engaging, asking questions and stuff. Yeah. And look, at the end of the day, I don't think this is I'm doing the same learning that you guys are doing. Maybe it's just I'm a couple semesters ahead of you guys or whatever. That's how I like to think about it. And but we're all learning. We're all trying to figure this stuff out. There's not some point in trading where it's you get a certificate and the certificate lets you know everything and have absolute certainty about it. It just doesn't exist. These markets are live, they're changing. Even if you've been doing it for a while, you're still having to react to all of the things that the new person is having to react to. So I'm just, this is just my journey, and sharing it with you guys through these streams and the spaces. It's really all it is. You think XLM did what we needed it to do? Let's go look at XLM for Ryan here. Let's go look at XLM for Ryan. Is this my XLM chart though? Hold on here. Yeah, this is the tab that I had it on. Okay, interesting, Darth Maul looking candle there. Monthly candle is pulling back aggressively, huh? But yeah, the thing I still don't like about XLM here, and it's not to say that this can't go higher. That's not what I'm trying to say here. After this weekly bar, everything's just an inside bar. So it's just a compression. Is part of what I'm observing here. is that you really just have a compression going on between, you know, 14.5 cents and about 30 cents. Like you're just compressing here. There's really no direction, right? It's just sideways. You can see that here as well, right? Big monthly bar. This month basically just brought it back to equilibrium. Let's see here. There's some big volume in this thing though. There's some big volume. These gold colored candles, they are 300% or greater volume. So those are big ones. When you get those orange ones, those are the big dog volume candles. Let me see here. Yeah, dude, I think there's a chance that XLM may still come sweep this previous week low based on these like 3-day candles. So this 3-day move here swept high, closed within this one, and it's now, it's now retracing most of that move. It doesn't have to go all the way. Let's see if there's something down here, like right below on the daily chart alone. Yeah, you've got this big daily candle. This is the problem though, right? Like, so here I'm going to remove the larger weekly range. I'm going to highlight this daily range here. Nope, not what I needed you to do. There we go. Notice this daily candle from the 15th, right? Inside bar, boom, fake out to the top that closes inside of the range. Notice it didn't close outside. This was just a deviation here. This is a straight up fake out. And then you're back inside the range. And then we're now slowly moving across this daily range. Slowly moving across the daily range. I think at this point, dude, for XLM, I think there's a fairly good chance it's coming down here to sweep last week's low. And I think there will be an opportunity at that point, but I think that this thing is still probably heading lower. Let's go into the 4-hour. Yeah, even if this thing bounces here, I think overall I'm still looking for a move down here below 17 cents to position again for another leg. So effectively, I mean, you just have big move up, big correction, another move up, but doesn't take out the previous high. So lower high. I think we need to probably get a lower low here. And then you have the opportunity of putting in either a higher low first that then tries to go the other way, or you go across the range and continue up, right? But I think you need to sweep that last low on XLM. Had to jump to the phone to say howdy, dude. So it's not just me. I was trying to comment on, what was I watching earlier? Landy and David G were on stream, and I was going to leave a comment, but on my computer it said that it was unavailable or something like that. I'm sure the markets evolve vicious, dude. This stuff is, you learn some strategies that do hold up. Mainly it's the principles. It's like principles hold up well, but the execution changes a little bit, right? How are we at an hour already? What? Yeah, it's okay. It's so weird. I could still repost, just no interact with comments and chat. Yeah, hopefully they fix it, whatever's going on there. Definitely hope they fix it. AVAX looking bullish. Bullish-ish? Did you just say bullish-ish? AVAX looking bullish-ish. All right, let's go look at AVAX. If this chart looks like trash, Ryan. Strong downtrend still on the quarterly, though. Strong downtrend on the quarterly. Let's look at that 6 month. I mean, it looks bullish if I invert it. This thing is like breaking out if I invert it, right? Breaking out above prior highs. This thing looks pretty strong if I do that, man. AVAX. Send it. I don't know, man. I mean, are you talking about the inverted chart? He says, watch. Yeah, look. I mean, maybe it can. But you know what the risk is, though, right? Is it can look bullish, to about here. It can look bullish to around here and then just continue the trajectory. Here, let's just zoom in. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's look at the 12 month. Yeah, this is just vicious. Vicious. Unrelenting bullishness on this inverted chart. Unrelenting bullishness. AVAX looks bullish. How the heck? I need to get whatever you're smoking or drinking. Unless you're maybe you signed up to the Coliseum and you're talking about like a scout move up to $9 from the current $6. Like maybe that's what you're talking about. You're talking about that. You've joined the Coliseum and you're on the 1 second chart with Crank and you guys are tearing it up on the 1 second chart. Maybe you guys are going ham on the 1 second chart. Now, look, I do think there's a chance that, after a drop like this, that it can come up and fill some of that. Let's look at the 3-day here. Yeah, I'd be careful above $7. It could, if it's not bottomed yet, it could sweep $7 and then head lower. Yeah, I'd say that's probably because I just monthly doesn't look good. Weekly, yeah, I'd say it's probably looking to sweep $7. Sweep up, fill some of this gap here. Probably not all of it. Fill some of that, move up into this. 50% levels are about 770. So yeah, maybe a move up there. And then it still could head lower. Still could head lower. This is a pretty strong downtrend still, man. This is not showing any kind of signs here of slowing down just yet on AVAX. Absolutely none. Absolutely none. I mean, this thing's it's almost like it's pointing, saying, hey, we're going this way, buddy. Right? You didn't sign up, but a $3 move is horrible. Brother, I can't do it. I can't do the Crank. Nobody does it justice, man. Crank owns that now. Here, I'm gonna screenshot this for Crank. He'll get a kick out of it. I'm gonna DM it to him here. Hold on. He'll get a good laugh from it. Where are you, Crank? He'll like that one. It's funny. Ryan says, I said I want to be long-term swing scalper, robo trader. Got it. Funny stuff. All right, fellas. Look, we are We're at an hour. I'll probably jump back on tonight. Yeah, give me at least like 2-3 hours. I'll jump back on my personal account tonight. We'll degen out a little bit on there, see what we can find. Just give me a couple hours. I just got to get up, stretch, do some other stuff, go outside, look at the sun. It's, what do they call it? Do some sun gazing and go outside and a little bit of barefoot walking on the dirt, grounding, and all that good stuff. Ryan's been recommending some bee-hole sunning. I'm not sure I'm up for that yet, but he says it works wonders to sun your bee-hole. Maybe there's something to that. Yeah, exactly. Ryan's been, I can't get this guy to shut up about it, about how incredible it is and how it's a very sensitive area and it just absorbs all the sunlight and you get all the benefits of it. So maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll try some of that. I'm not fully convinced yet. Ryan's trying to get me to try it, but it seems a little sus to me. He says there's lots of benefits, but with that, guys, shout out again to Public for sponsoring these shows. Go check them out, guys. Go support the folks that support Wolf Bitcoin, that support our ability to do content like this. So go check them out, public.com/wolf. Go make a free account. Go click around. Go see if something there looks of interest to you. If you've got a TradFi portfolio, you may be interested. You may like what you see. Public.com/wolf. Shout out again to all of you guys that come in and hang out with us. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for making these, more of an engaging, conversational type of stream instead of just me talking to the camera. Definitely makes a big difference. So I appreciate that. It is a totally different vibe if we have something to talk about. We're taking chart requests, we're doing all that stuff, as opposed to just sitting here talking to myself. So with that, guys, I'm going to log off. Appreciate all of y'all. Thanks again. Don't forget to like, repost, comment, share this out. The replay is going to be up. Let's make sure we get some eyes on it. Until next time, guys, we'll see ya.